Episode 9 is set to end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really excited to see in this movie is exactly what the new threat is going to be in Episode 9 that will cause Kylo Ren to be very vulnerable at a certain point in time in the second and or third act of the movie. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams is doing amazing things with this film in order to properly end the Skywalker saga and really leave everything behind that transitions over into the new Star Wars trilogy. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to the new villain / the new threat in this movie, this is where things begin to get very exciting. Now, it's described that the main new villain in the film that is connected to the Beyond and the origins of the dark side is said to be inspired by a popular Sith Lord from Star Wars Legends / the Expanded Universe. However, it's unclear if the villain in the actual movie will be an actual Sith Lord. It will be inspired by a popular Sith Lord from Star Wars Legends. Additionally, it's described that the new villain associated with the new threat will be used by JJ in a way to tie Episode 9 into the new Star Wars trilogy by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Additionally, it's said that this new villain was used in the original script of Episode 9 by Colin Trevorrow that was cherry-picked by JJ and modified to better suit his story. It's described that the new villain / new threat in Episode 9 will also have a major connection to the MacGuffin, which is a plot device that moves the story forward and will evolve from start to finish of the movie. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this, obviously, because this is, of course, an angle of Star Wars that I think a lot of people are interested in right now. You guys may have heard about this a couple of weeks ago, that a new threat is going to be a part of this story that will make Kylo Ren feel vulnerable within the second and third act of the film. And now, we do know that JJ is trying to really cherry pick a lot from the EU and, of course, Star Wars Legends. Same exact thing there. Now, a lot of things in the EU, we've seen similar situations where we have 3 factions fighting each other, 2 factions teaming up to go up against a stronger threat, and it seems like JJ is trying to introduce that idea into Star Wars Episode 9. But let me go over the real interesting piece, is that this new villain is actually said to be connected, of course, to the origins of the dark side and based off of a Sith Lord from Star Wars Legends / the Expanded Universe. Now, does that necessarily mean that this character is going to be a Sith Lord? The answer is no. As far as we know, this character is just going to be based off of a Sith Lord. Meaning, of course, it could look like a certain Sith that we all see in the actual Expanded Universe. For example, this new villain may not be a Sith, but could look just like Darth Malak, Malgus, Sion, Revan, you name it, right? So with that being said, I want to go on to the piece that's really interesting to me, is that this character actually has a major connection to the MacGuffin in this movie. Now, the MacGuffin, by the way, guys, is an evolving plot device. It's going to always change within each act of the movie, and I think that's going to be a very impressive storytelling element in the movie by JJ. We've never seen something like this before in a Star Wars film, where the actual MacGuffin is going to change constantly from start to finish of the film, and how at the very end of the movie, the MacGuffin will also be tied into a shocking revelation. So this scene in particular, alright, in the second and third act, we do know that Kylo Ren is going to feel vulnerable from this new threat. So this new villain / this new threat is also described to be an original concept that was taken from Colin Trevorrow's original script of Episode 9 that was actually modified / altered by J.J. Abrams to better suit his story. So, like I say, guys, in case you guys did not know, Chris Terrio, who, by the way, is the co-writer of Episode 9, he actually helped out a lot with the Legends and EU material for this movie in order to really make this film attract a lot of hardcore fans who read a lot of the comics in the 90s, a lot of the books in the 90s and the early 2000s, before Disney took over Lucasfilm back in 2012 / 2011, give or take. So, what I like so much about this is that this seems like it's really going to open up a lot of possibilities. The thing that's most impressive to me is how this new villain is actually going to tie into the new Star Wars trilogy, and you can really see how the dots are starting to connect. We've been hearing about the Dark Spire, we've been hearing about the Beyond, and how the Beyond is a location where a lot of ancient Sith Lords traveled to and never returned. So, the Old Republic, by the way, trilogy, being created by, of course, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, that's apparently the setting of the new trilogy. It's actually going to be based hundreds of years before the events of the Skywalker saga. I wouldn't be too surprised if this character ends up being a Sith that was locked away in the Beyond and has now returned, for an example. That's just an idea, but I think that you can really start connecting things from what we have been learning these, past 6 months, give or take. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.